So, what's up, everybody? If you are just joining us, we are going to look at FC26 to EA Sports. This is their last chance, right? And this is actually absolutely correct. I truly believe that. The reason why I believe that is because I don't think EA Sports can give us any type of anything close to the dog crap they gave us with 25 and keep even close to the players they were luckily able to keep through FC25. A lot of players left, which is what put them on notice to actually give us a much improved game. However, this year, if they give us the same thing, especially after so much good stuff at the start, right? So many good additions. The gameplay so far has gotten rave reviews. If somehow, I don't even know how it's possible, but somehow they crash and burn now, there's no way I see them recovering. I think as bad as eFootball is, as terrible as Konami did with their update, especially because while there are players that complain about laggy and delayed gameplay in eFootball, it is an epidemic in EAFC. Therefore, that issue in particular, if that all of a sudden goes away, based on the beta showing that they've improved on the inconsistent gameplay, if that disappears and then the actual release brings back this terrible gameplay that we're seeing in FC25 right now, which makes it literally almost unplayable, if not totally unplayable. Squad battles can even kind of look glitchy right now. So it's almost like they gave up on it, or I don't know what happened, but I truly believe this is true, that FC26 is EA Sports' last chance to at least show us they're going in the right direction. So let's listen up and see how this goes.
Man, what a game. You truly had to love booting up an old school FIFA, playing some pro clubs with the lads, jumping in that arena and scoring some absolute shit pingers. I just sure hope it stays this good forever. No, EA, nah, please, what are you doing to my beloved? I beg, I have to play eFootball. It's fair to say recent FIFAs aren't really the same as the old school ones. Whether it be gameplay created by the Taliban, or whether it be the introduction of Super Mad Ting Team of the Bank Holiday, TikTok influencer birthday special, DLC icon Nepenthes special cards. The nostalgia is gone. There's no more indie bangers, no more roads to Division 1, and no more facial reconstruction surgery for Road to Shaw's mum. EA Sports have promised that's gonna change with FC26, but they cannot fail now. Truthfully, this is FIFA's last chance. I hope you understand, guys. I'm never gonna call this shit FC. Like, on a day-to-day basis, it's FIFA forever and always. I will put FC26 in the title. I will, in video format, refer to it as FC at times. But I'm never chatting to my mate and saying, yo, do you want to play EA FC25? Mostly because I would never want to play EA Sports FC20. Now, before we get into this one, tantalizing like goal for everybody. If this video gets 7,000 likes, I will bring back some of the modded FIFA videos from back in the day. The amount of times I get asked about those videos, bringing them back. Unfortunately, a lot of the resources that were available to make...
Dude, that's the thing. There was so much better content back in the day, man. The game was just so much more fun to play, and EA Sports just took it into the most BS direction. That's why this year looks amazing. When you have good career modes, when you have good gameplay that's addicting, that players want to play, that's when it becomes fun. That's when players get creative because they actually want to play the game. So there's plenty of modes and stuff, but then content creators will come up with different challenges, right? Roads to Glories become fun because at the end of the day, if the football on the pitch is not fun, then no one's going to want to watch. And that's what's the biggest problem right now. So let's just hope we really get a great game in FC26.
Jude Bellingham, I'm sure, will be getting some flashbacks to being beaten by XX_pussylover_XX. And then on the cover for the Ultimate Edition will be Zlatan Ibrahimovic, who enters the game for the first time as an icon. According to the trailer, a lot of people have been asking for that, and he comes in with other stuff as well, but we'll talk about that in a second. Because on to the trailer, and I'm not gonna lie to you lads, it actually did seem pretty good. Now, one thing that they said they were gonna do was they were gonna include a lot of gameplay. They never really do that. In the initial trailer they do, it's loads of like cinematic footage,
we already know that
never
part.
from actually in the game, which kind of goes back to the old days of the Brazilva teams, and you'd get like skills as an ultimate team.
Oh, that brings back memories, guys.
It kind of feels a bit more difficult to do that these days. There's a lot of other smaller things they go through where it flickers at the end, like inverted fullbacks, header precision, new skill moves as well, including this crazy new rainbow flick. And all of this is merged into like 2 separate gameplay presets. One for online,
by the way,
one for offline. I don't know if you can choose.
The inverted wingback is awesome, right? So the false back is a player a wingback that goes into CDM or the box-to-box type CM position whenever you're in possession, so you have that extra option. But an inverted wingback goes into the cam position, so you can get a ridiculous attack with certain wingbacks. So it's pretty bad. It's pretty awesome. And the positioning makes it to where you can use your wingbacks as attackers this year, and they'll still recover, which was a problem, which is why many players just went to fullback and that's it last year and the previous few years.
Like Zlatan Ibrahimovic, for example, is new in the game. He has an archetype, and other younger players, maybe even regens in career mode or whatever, can have that same archetype to kind of play similarly to him, if that makes sense. I think it'll be used most in like pro clubs, for example, or when you're creating a player in career mode, you can say, I want my guy to kind of replicate Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Once I've got him to the highest of his potentials, then you got your own mini Zlatan whenever you want him. Things like Rush and additions from last year are still in the game. We've also got new licenses, mostly for the Bundesliga. I think all 18 teams have got like their stadiums in the game again. So Bayern Munich Stadium is back in FIFA now, and some teams from the Bundesliga.
There's
a couple of new things.
Too bad you can't use them in Ultimate Team.
Challenges, which I'm gonna say straight off the bat, I already don't care about. But it's like real world scenarios and storylines.
By the way, I'm calling it, guys. Now that they have it where you can turn off like shadows and stuff, right? Which was the biggest problem, and then the camera angles too. With that automated camera angle, if they make that mandatory, let's say, and then they set it up at each stadium to where the camera angle can't throw players off, then you should be able to use any stadium you want. Because I want them to remove, or if you want it as an option, the Ultimate Stadium, but I want it to be where you can choose any of these stadiums, especially now with the camera angle immersing you with the fans. I mean, picture using, what is it? I forgot the name, but Borussia Dortmund's park. They're right on top of the field. It's super intimidating. That noise, like, the immersion is excellent. They need to make it where you can use these real-life stadiums for your Ultimate Team.
They enjoy the experience, but it's nowhere near as many as enjoyed it back in the day, and that's reflected by, you know, sales and interest. I think FIFA have recognised this, or EA Sports have recognised this, and realised, yo, we've actually got to make this game fun to play again if we want to keep our market. There's only so many
100%.
features you can slap in a game, and it's still just overall experience be really fucking annoying for you to really care. As I said, career mode, manager mode is so much better now than it was 6 years ago. It's a completely different game mode in comparison to what it was back then. It was like skeletal. We were so annoyed back in the day as career mode content creators because nothing would change. We've had so many features over like the last 5 years. Some of them don't work. Don't get it twisted, and I hope that they're fixed for this game. Things like, you know, obviously, yeah, cool. We can get players from every nationality in the youth academies, but they've all got the same name. So expand the name pool with it. Yes, cool. The feature's nice, like it doesn't work properly.
You got like a dude from China. His name is John Gardner.
So if they have managed to fix it, if they have managed to make it more fun and more entertaining, a little bit more arcadey, a little bit more light-hearted, then that's a great, that is good. But they put a lot of pressure on themselves here. A guy called Chew Boy, who for the OGs of the FIFA community will know Chew really well. He used to work at EA Sports and then became a content creator. I think he was basically in charge of like the network between EA and the games company and FIFA the game, and then the content creators as well. He was like a middleman basically, who would actually relay information to the fans on social media whilst also working for EA. And he said that it's really interesting that they've kind of been very self-reflective and realised that the usual trailers are a load of shit and that they need to put gameplay in, because it means that they are very confident in the gameplay that they've got, or they have to be anyway, and it kind of gives them
they
this
did a great job, guys.
That's
just the truth.
now. It's kind of do or
26 is freaking insane.
Because if they put all their efforts
based on the beta,
gameplay,
and it's only going to get better. It's never gotten worse.
Features,
even when they release crappy games, it was crappy from the beta on.
All of us are going to be like, this is still shit. Do I have much faith in EA Sports anymore? Honestly,
no way.
No, not really. The way they've massacred my boy over like the last 4 or 5 years is actually borderline impressive. EA as a company continually buy out small studios and absolutely annihilate them from the inside out. They've done it with racing games companies recently. They do it generally, and realistically, all they actually care about is the money. So what we're actually going to have to see is on day one whether the gameplay is good, and more importantly, after that mystical first patch that they always do that ruins the gameplay every year, we need to make sure that that doesn't happen as well. I want this game to not just be fun as soon as people are buying it and pre-ordering it early doors, and then for it to become arse again. I want it to be good the entire game cycle if I'm going to trust these lot again. EA Sports, it's your last chance. Probably not with everybody, but definitely with me. If you can't get things right,
with more and more players every time. Now, there's some diehards that no matter what will not go to eFootball or UFL and that have to play football. I'm somebody that loves football games enough to where it would suck without playing them. However, I'm not going to play a terrible football game. That's why I'm done with UFL. That's why I'm done with eFootball. At least on a competitive aspect, right? Like, I'll goof around like I'm doing kind of right now while I'm waiting for 26 to come out. But this is 100% the last chance for a majority of players, where if EA Sports was hurt last year in the pocketbook area because of the amount of players that left or didn't buy the game late like they typically do, then this year will be ridiculous levels. And they always do that first patch that changes everything up because certain players complain, and they have to ignore it, because the players that are going to complain this year, it's going to be the ratty, lower skilled players. They're not going to like the fact that tacklebacks are gone, that there's no speed boost, there's no, like, a lot of the shortcuts that these ratty players use to get around having to use skill. That stuff's gone, and they have to ignore those players and not patch stuff to try to, like, equalize the gameplay, because all they do when they do that every single year without fail is ruin the game. If they can manage to refrain from that, if they can manage to keep the gameplay how it is and it doesn't turn to the crap with the inconsistency, I can't talk, sorry, and the command delay and stuff like that, then we'll be in a good place. If for some reason the full release comes and now, boom, the menus crash again and the gameplay is terribly laggy and command delay and everything, and they totally BS us on that, and they patch out a lot of the stuff that they did to make the game as good as it is on the beta, see you later for myself and many others. And I don't think they can recover, because then at that point it's like, you gave us everything you could throw at us for 25 to 26, right? You gave us developers for content creators to interview and put it out. You let them talk about the game before the beta. You dropped the beta. You dropped a ton of gameplay footage. Everything was amazing, and you still failed, so we're gone. That's what's going to be the case. So I've never heard of this content creator before, but clearly he's pretty big, right? And his name is FNG. If you know about him, great. If you don't, go give him a subscribe and watch for his content, because that was an excellent video, and he was spot on with just about everything he said in there. Just wanted to do a quick rundown of that because I thought it was a very interesting video. Yeah, shots were fired at eFootball early on where he said, no, I might have to play eFootball. But it's true, guys. I know it hurts some feelings for those players who love eFootball. Listen, I go back with PES, but this isn't PES. You got to understand. Konami is so disconnected from their roots. You can't call eFootball PES. It's so far from a skilled football game. It's almost like turning into an NFL Blitz. If you don't know NFL Blitz, it was based on American football, but they said, a lot of players get bored of the select your play, and then there's all these penalties and stuff. They go, what if we made a hard-hitting, high-flying game, no penalties? And it was a great idea, and it was a great game based loosely on real football. the broken defense, the lack of dynamic shooting, the lack of run making, all of the AI, it's a very loose iteration of a football simulator. It's more of like an AI assistance football game, if that makes sense. And so who would want to play that? It's all about you controlling the gameplay. It's all about bringing the beautiful game into the virtual world, right? And then that's where we get involved. That's where we love the manager modes, and that's where we love the road to glories and everything, because the good gameplay is what drives it. If the team building and all that and the manager career and everything that happens off the pitch leads to terrible gameplay on the pitch, then it's no fun. So only time will tell, but shout out to FNG. I'm glad I discovered him. I'll do it right here. I'll be subscribing to him. You guys make sure you give him a shout. And make sure you smash the like button if you enjoyed this. Make sure you shoot me a subscribe as well, because I have a lot more content coming aimed at helping you get the best out of your FC26 experience and beyond that. We're just getting started. This channel isn't even a year old, so I appreciate all the support, and I look forward to the future with you guys. So, see you soon. Peace out.